Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. I haven't spoken to you guys since Chelsea were beaten 2-1 at home to Sunderland on Saturday afternoon. And to be quite honest, even in my 6 things we learnt match review, you guys know, sometimes if we lose, I'll be the first one to start shouting, screaming, Man United, goodness knows what I said on that live stream on Shootout. But after this loss to Sunderland, I didn't really know what to say. I didn't really know how I felt about it, other than the fact that going into that game was the first time that I actually felt really confident about what Chelsea could possibly do going into the rest of this season. We're not even 10 games in to the Premier League season right now, and if your name isn't Arsenal, then there's nobody in the Premier League that is really building momentum. You've got Bournemouth, who you could say are overachieving. You've probably got Sunderland also, you could say would not have expected to be in the Premier League top 4 right now. But when it comes to all of the big clubs, from Manchester City, Liverpool have lost 4 in a row. Manchester United, are they back? It looks like they might be on their way to that. Tottenham Hotspur doing very well as well. Chelsea right now are one of many teams who are stuck in a bit of an identity crisis at this point of the season. And when I say identity crisis, I feel like this is normal, but I want to address in this video today what absolutely has to happen now at Chelsea. Because 9 matches into the season, to have only won 4 and to have lost the games that we've lost at home to Brighton, at home to Sunderland, and the nature of that defeat at the weekend absolutely needs to be addressed. Because right now, when we look across the fan base, when we look at the opinions, the reasons why people think Chelsea aren't doing very well, it would be very easy to turn around and be like, oh, this wouldn't have happened under Roman Abramovich, Enzo Maresca would have been gone. You can also look at the recruitment and say, well, we didn't sign a centre-back. And I think that is where I want to start in this video today. Because what I have seen this season isn't that Chelsea can't score goals. We've got more goals scored right now in the Premier League than Arsenal have. And Arsenal are 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League table and are currently 17th when it comes to open play goals. Chelsea's problem is not putting the ball in the back of the net. It is what we do when the ball goes anywhere near our box. And this is why when we talk about recruitment, we can be happy with the Esteval Willian signing. We can be delighted with the Joao Pedro signing, although he's not really firing at the moment. That's going to change when Liam Delap comes back into the team. What we can say as a criticism is that we did not address a huge problem position. If you want to be fighting for the top honours at the top of the Premier League, not just winning the Premier League, but being a team that can consistently be challenging, no one has ever won the Premier League without at least one solid must-start every single game centre-half. When you look at Arsenal right now, they've got 2. Gabriel and Saliba. These 2 are levels above any defender right now in the Premier League, and they've got 2 of them. And it's no surprise that Arsenal have only conceded 3 goals so far this season. Man City's success, Vincent Kompany, Liverpool's Premier League title wins, built with Virgil van Dijk as the centre-back, Man United, Ferdinand Vidic, even Chelsea, our own football club, show exactly what needs to happen to win a Premier League. Terry Cahill, Terry Ricardo Carvalho. This is a non-negotiable position. And in the summer, instead of going and buying both Gittins and Garnacho, Chelsea should have gone and bought a centre-back. We had the time. We had the knowledge that Colwill was going to be out for a very long time. The moment Levi Colwill became injured, it was very apparent very quickly this was going to be an entire season. Enzo Maresca called it out himself. He made it very clear with no uncertain terms that we needed to find a solution. And I think Chelsea Football Club made it clear, you've got to find that internally. And when I look at the first 9 games of the Premier League season so far, I'm looking and I think Josh Achampong is by far the most competent centre-back that we've got at the club right now. If you'd have asked me 2 months ago, is Josh Achampong even a centre-back? I'd have said no, probably not. I think he's going to be a right-back, back up to Gusto, back up to Reece James. If Gusto plays like he did last season, Achampong is Reece James' backup. Now, Reece James is fit right now. He's healthy. Did he play well against Sunderland? No. Did anyone play well against Sunderland? Garnacho, bought off in the 57th minute. But the problem is the defence. The goal that Sunderland scored to win this game is an atrocity. There is no if, buts or maybes about it. The fact that he had so much time, the Sunderland striker, with both Tosin and Chalobah literally just waiting, rolling out the red carpet, and there's a video going out on Shootout today where Eunice and I talk about this and bounce back across together discussing this exact moment. Rolling out the red carpet for Sunderland, Talby comes in, puts the ball in the back of the net, and it's an embarrassing loss for Chelsea. But we can't just say, well, you know, we looked like we couldn't cross, we looked like we couldn't shoot, we weren't passing the ball properly. Fundamentally, the errors, centre-back errors that we are seeing right now is predominantly based around quality. When we talk about the conversation regarding experience, right? Tosin's 28, Trevor Chalobah is 26, Josh Achampong is 19, but right now he looks like the most composed centre-half. Now, when it comes to what Maresca does about this, when it comes to finding a solution now, because we can sit here all day long going on about recruitment, going on about what we should have done in the summer. The truth is we didn't do that. Right now we're seeing Maresca chop and change. We are seeing inconsistency with the lineup. Right now we've got to make do with what we've got. And I know a lot of people find that difficult. They much rather go down the path of just rant. How bad were the sporting directors? Why didn't we buy a centre-half? Well, we didn't, so what do we do now? Every time Achampong is out on the pitch, I think he looks like the most confident defender when it comes to stepping up with the ball, driving it forward, an asset that Maresca wants in his centre-back. I also think when it comes to blocks, clearances, all of these things, Achampong is the most competent right now. Who do I think becomes a better centre-back when they're playing next to a better centre-back? I think Trev raises his game when he's playing alongside better players. When we saw him at Palace last season, he was partnered by Mark Gurhey, who I think is a better centre-half. Chalobah looks better. Right now, we need consistency. And I think the only pairing that we can even think of as a potential consistent pairing at Chelsea is Josh Achampong and Trevor Chalobah. Wesley Fofana, we don't know when his next injury is going to come. Benoit Badiashile, exactly the same, and he's injured again. Tosin, right now, I feel is the biggest liability in this Chelsea back line. Whenever any of the opposition come at Chelsea and Tosin's there having to go backwards to defend as a 1v1, I am very, very nervous. I'm almost sure every single time Tosin's going to be caught out. We have seen it on numerous occasions this season. And I bring it back to how you can build a title-winning team. Chelsea, if we want to be anywhere near this conversation, we have to now start thinking about the spine of the team. Now, I'm not going to say that Rob Sanchez is to blame for any of the goals that we saw against Sunderland, but again, those conversations about distribution were coming in. Were the passes right? Was it the right weight? Was he even finding a Chelsea player? No. So when we talk about the frailties going forward, there is also that quality issue when it comes to if you want to play from the back, is the goalkeeper making the first pass correctly? More often than not, it isn't always perfect. He's definitely improved. Sunderland game showed the frailties with that again. But we absolutely cannot at any point talk about winning a title if we are going to skimp out on the centre-back position. And I'm talking here, first of all, about having an absolute stonewall guarantee player that has to play every single game, that you can not only rely on when it comes to injuries, record within those injuries, but also somebody who leads by example from the back. And I'm not just necessarily here talking about experience. As I've already said, Tosin 28, Chalobah 26. That is a good age for a centre-back. Any older than that, and I'm starting to think, oh, do they have the legs to play the way that Maresca wants them to play? So this whole conversation about experience might actually be the wrong one, in my opinion. I think this is purely about quality. And then when we bring that conversation up about quality, quality costs money. Nothing is free in the footballing world, never has been, never will be. Now I think Chelsea need to prioritise buying a centre-back that we can build this team around. Whether it is going to be Josh Achampong, somebody else. Right now, that's what I'm most confident with. I think Trevor Chalobah is a solid centre-back. I don't want to scapegoat him here and say he's not good enough. I think when he's playing alongside a better centre-back, he is good enough. That's my personal opinion on the matter. But do we have someone available right now who is that? Not necessarily. because I don't think right now Chelsea have got centre-backs that are good enough to allow us to challenge. And that is even bearing in mind what I mentioned at the start of this video. When we look at the Premier League table, it's Arsenal, 4 points clear now. That is going to rise. They're going to be even more points clear soon. Liverpool have lost 4 in a row. Man City, inconsistent. Are they actually good enough to challenge this Arsenal team? I don't think so. Bournemouth and Sunderland, great starts to the season. Can they sustain this all year? No. There is an opportunity for Chelsea, if we get this right in the upcoming weeks, we can stop this conversation of, oh, panic stations. We're 9th in the Premier League. We could absolutely get higher than that. We can move up this table very quickly. We've seen literally, if we'd have beaten Sunderland, we would have actually been in the top 4 come the end of the weekend just gone. So as of right now, I'm not throwing my toys out the pram. A lot of people are saying, Benson, this isn't good enough, this isn't right. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's ever an excuse, no matter how good a manager is, how good the playing personnel are, how much money we've spent, who the owner is. There is never an excuse for Chelsea Football Club to be beaten at home to Sunderland in the manner that we were when it came to feeble basics, not being good enough in any area of the field. By any stretch of the imagination, it's never acceptable. But as of right now, the transfer window isn't open. We've also got restrictions in that matter as well. And that isn't to kind of alleviate any blame, because I would have, if it was me, I would have certainly spent differently in the summer, knowing that those restrictions were there, and having Enzo Maresca, a manager that I think deserves to be backed, deserves to have his opinion when it comes to how we spend money in the transfer market. Maresca won us 2 trophies, got us back in the Champions League. That is a good season. No matter what kind of value you place on the Conference League, the Club World Cup, or if it triggers you that the top 4 is seen as a trophy. I'm not saying it's a trophy, but I'm saying it's certainly better than another year in the Conference League or even the Europa League. It was a good season, and when Maresca sits there, looks at Levi Colwill and he's like, that's our best centre-back. I've not got him for the whole season. I need someone that can do what he does. Lo and behold, 9 games into the season, and we're already having the conversation. Are the defenders good enough? Absolutely not. Are we chopping and changing too much because Maresca's trying to make do, trying to find a solution? Of course, but we're struggling. And I don't think the problem is in the final third. We also have to factor in injuries, right? Cole Palmer, top 10 players in world football. I'd even argue top 5 by my own personal bias. Injured, out for more weeks even from now. Liam Delap, new striker, number 9, bought in, injured, match week number 2. Joao Pedro, great player when he's fitting in with others around him. Little bit of a niche, little bit of a nuance. Now we're asking him to do a role that he's never quite been able to fulfill, even at Brighton. So when it comes to the attack, I still think we're doing okay. I think Esteban Willian needs to play every single game. I think he's got world-class potential. I think he could win Ballon d'Ors. I think he's incredible. I think he needs to be trusted. But the problem is the defence. Reece James, phenomenal. Cucurella, phenomenal. Even they're going to have bad games when the structure of the team is bad, when everyone around them is putting in half-assed energy performances. I don't want to hear that as an excuse. If we're going to talk about squad load management, rotations, I'm seeing rotations. So how are we looking so leggy? How are we looking so toothless? How do we look like we've got no energy? And how do we look like we're void of ideas come the end of a football match at home to Sunderland? This is a big problem, and I think it starts at the back. And I don't think there's confidence in those defenders from the players, the manager, and I'm looking at it in thinking, we have to solve this. And the transfer window's not open, so find a solution permanently. I don't want to keep seeing rotations in centre-back. Give Josh Achampong and Trevor Chalobah, now that he's fit, every game. And that is Wolves tomorrow in the Carabao Cup and the Premier League. What is this nonsense that footballers cannot play 2 games in a week? Now, when we're talking about Chelsea players and injuries, Achampong and Chalobah are not the first players that come to mind of having to wrap them in cotton wool. Achampong is 19, he's an athlete. I think he's an excellent footballer. Trev, very much the same too. I think this is the partnership we need to be working on. This is where we build from, for now. And then if there is money to be spent in the January transfer window, I don't want to be reading Chelsea news stories right now about 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds from Brazil that we could spend 15 million on, 20 million on for the future that might be a winger for us. Bloody hell, please don't do this to me. Go out there, spend the money on a top-class centre-back that we can start building this spine with. Goalkeeping position is what it is. I think Pender in the future is going to be a top keeper. We're hearing rumours at the moment. Chelsea looking at ter Stegen. Chelsea is still interested in Mike Maignan. Okay, park that bus. If it's Maignan, it will be next summer. In January, the sticking point for where Chelsea's season can go in the Premier League, in my opinion, having won 4 of 9 matches so far, is fixing the centre-back partnership. Now, this isn't all on Maresca because we do have injuries coming up. Tosin got injured. Badiashile injured. Colwill out for the season. But for me, it's clear as day. And let me know your thoughts here in the comments below. Achampong and Chalobah. I think Achampong is the confident one. Trev gets better when he's playing with the confident one. Yoral Hato, another good option. If we're going to see it, use him and keep using him. If he keeps performing, keep playing him. But again, I think we do need a mixture. We need experience. But do we have it? Arguably, yes. But I think the quality within that experience, very questionable, particularly so far this season from Tosin. I think Trevor's actually, on the whole, been pretty good. But I think when everyone else around him's letting him down too, he goes to that level. Trev's never going to be the guy to like make the level or call the shots. So that's where I think we're at right now. I wanted to make this video because I feel like I can actually come up with some more like coherent, useful points maybe. I mean, maybe you didn't think anything I said was useful or you didn't agree with any of it. Let me know your thoughts, as per usual, in the comments down below. But after that Sunderland game, it just felt so deflating, didn't it? I genuinely thought we were on this little run now that we kind of just got rid of some of those errors that we kept making that was leading to goals. We're winning football matches, we're scoring. And that was with all the injuries. That's with all these players to slowly start integrating back into the team. But it turns out we're back to square one and the league position doesn't lie. We're 9th in the league. Our home form, we've won 40% of home matches in the Premier League. And who have we played at home? Liverpool, the only big club, the only big side that we've played. No disrespect to anyone else, because people have done a number on us. Brighton did a number on us. Sunderland did a number on us. Can't keep blaming red cards. 11v11 against Sunderland, newly promoted side, not good enough. So we can say, address it in January. Please do, because our season might hinge on that. We need better centre-backs. End of story. We could have gone into this season with optimism, sure. I went into it with optimism. All right, we're not going to buy one. Cool. Let's work with what we got. Let's back the boys, of course. I always do that at Chelsea. I always want to see everyone do well. But right now, 9 games in, approaching November, Tottenham at the weekend, that is where I see the sticking point being. Players play with confidence when they know that they're safe behind them. Attackers will take more risks when they know they can afford to because they trust the defenders. And maybe it is Maresca holding people back. Maybe it is the sideways football sometimes that does hold us back. But in the same breath, I've seen us blow teams away. So that's also on Maresca, isn't it? Surely. Don't think Maresca's necessarily the biggest issue right now. Some games he gets the subs right, some games he doesn't. Consistency. Can we please just be consistent for once? Go on a little run right now. The rest of the league's falling apart. We can be that team that can hopefully try and track down Arsenal. Don't believe we're going to win the league at all. If we'd have beaten Sunderland, I'd have started saying, why not go for it? Why not go for it? But we couldn't even beat Sunderland. So tomorrow night, we go to the Molineux. Wolverhampton Wanderers away in the Carabao Cup. I want to win that trophy. No excuses. Wolves cannot buy even a draw for love nor money right now. We go there and we beat them. No excuses. None of this, oh, the players are tired. Nah, we have got a big enough squad. We've spent so much money. No excuses. Don't let me down. But anyway, going to wrap this video up here. I'll see you guys in the next one tomorrow. Come on, you Blues.